So we're going to give an introduction from the very start. Introduce ourselves to
Okay.
talk to you like we don't know you.
Okay. That's good.
All right. We're ready. All right, we're in here? Good. Perfect. Hi, my name is Gary, and I'm the owner for Growing Tree Education. And this presentation is going to be about the Common Core standards and educating parents about what the Common Core standards is, how it affects your children, and what you can do to help your child do better. I'm also joined here today by Erin Smilkstein.
You'll get it.
Erin Smilkstein, and she's the owner for the Homework Lounge. Would you like to say something about?
Sure. Hi, I'm Erin Smilkstein. I am the owner and lead educator at the Homework Lounge, where we learn, laugh, and live with math. We provide straightforward, online, user-friendly e-courses and tutoring for students using everyday language that everyone can understand, so that no parents ever feel helpless and no child ever feels left behind. And Gary and I have teamed up recently because of our mutual concerns about what's happening with education, what's happening in the next few years, and especially that parents don't seem to know what's going on, and that we want to help people prepare for success with Common Core.
We also find that teachers don't feel adequately prepared a lot of times, and that's why with our summer school that we're doing, we hope that the Common Core standards, we can adequately prepare them for the Common Core standards during the summer so that they'll be caught up. This is going to be the first year, as you'll see in the presentation, that the Common Core testing is going to be implemented. So this summer is going to be a very critical year about what we're going to do. So let's start our slides and then go from there. So we have a series of slides that we also are presenting online, and let's see. Let's get them up here. Good. Okay. And you have the slides right there.
Okay, so as that warms up, today we will be going over what Common Core is, what it isn't, where it came from, how it affects you, and what you can do to help yourself and your children get prepared.
Good. So the purpose of today's meeting really is to understand what the Common Core is, and samples. We're also going to give you samples of the Common Core questions so that you can see what exactly your students are going to, your child is going to be doing. And then also tips on how you can help your child as well. I think it's going to be a very important part of the parent's role also to try to get and help the students do better in the Common Core. Erin's going to give a presentation on what the Common Core is, but before we do that, we're going to have a short video about what the Common Core is. This is a video put together by the Common Core organization, so you can see what they presented, and it gives a very good overview. It's only a 3-minute video, so it's let's take
Like it or not, life is full of measuring sticks. How smart we are, how fast we are, how well we can, compete. But up until now, it's been pretty hard to tell how well kids are competing in school and how well they're going to do when they get out of school. We like to think that our education system does that, but when it comes to learning what they really need to be successful after graduation, is a girl in your neighborhood being taught as much as her friend over in the next one? Is a graduating senior in, say, St. Louis as prepared to get a job as the graduate in Shanghai? Well, it turns out the answer to both of these questions is no. Because for years, states have been setting different standards for what students should know and be able to do at each grade level. That's making it too hard to know if our kids are really doing well enough overall, and if they can really compete for a job someday. What we really need are clear goals. That's where the Common Core state standards come in. They're like a total sea change in education. Consistent, strong, clear benchmarks for English language arts and math. Here's how it works. You can think of kindergarten through 12th grade like a giant staircase. Each step is a skill your child needs to learn before stepping up to the next one. But right now, too many kids aren't really confident with like 2 + 2 before they have to move on to 2 × 2. We need more focus on the skills that help them move up the stairs, or they can slip up and fall behind. And there's another problem. What if everyone's stairs were made at different heights? Well, here we go again. They are. So, a boy in Seattle who's rocking an A in English literature could be getting a C on his Chicago friend's staircase. Oops. We need to create consistent steps in education too. So first, each standard creates a landing on the staircase, a stop along the way as your child heads toward high school graduation. Each stop is a chance for every parent and teacher to focus on the skills their students are supposed to know at that step, no matter the zip code, language, or race. And more importantly, each standard makes sure all students are learning what they need to know to get to graduation and beyond. Because something like counting to 100 leads to understanding dollars and cents, which eventually leads to understanding how to manage a budget. Secondly, the standards are consistent from school to school, and they match up against international standards too. Now we know how we're doing compared to just about everyone. So even though local communities will still design their own curriculum, with the same rules, everybody can compete on the same kind of staircase. But standards aren't learning. That's why we need teachers, parents, and students to help make that happen. By working together to help kids meet these standards. The world's getting more and more competitive every day. But now, when our kids get to the top of their staircase, they can have way more options on where their life goes from there. Clear goals, confident, well-prepared students. That's the Common Core State Standards.
Hey.
Yay, so they say, a good point in the video, which we will go over, is why do states have such different standards? And this could probably be a whole 2-hour thing in itself, but we're going to do it in 5 minutes, so this is just an essential overview. The state standards started being developed, or I should say Common Core, because of a bunch of events that happened before that. So even though we are in spring 2014 going into 2015, when the standards are actually going to be implemented, all of this started about 14 years ago. And really we can kind of link it back to what happened with No Child Left Behind. President Bush at the time said all kids need to be able to be proficient and work at a certain level. But they said, guess what, states, you get to decide what that level is to be called proficient. So what happened is, in order to meet government mandates that all kids are proficient, states lowered the standards. They made it so that the standards were more adaptable, more easily met by more students. Well, that didn't help kids, because what happens is they're meeting lower standards through the grades. You get to high school, the standards aren't necessarily lower anymore. You get to the SATs, they're not lower. You get to college, now you're at college standards where your state might have not gotten you prepared for those college standards. And being in high school and not being at a proficient level and a rigorous study means that in middle school you weren't prepared, which means in elementary school you weren't prepared. So fast forward, come in, people decide that we need a common standard for everybody. And that's where, in 2008, the Common Core project started. Now, a lot of people misunderstand and think that Obama started Common Core. And if they want to, they blame him on it. Now, this isn't a political talk, but a lot of people will blame Obama for this. Common Core started even way before, in fact, because it started being funded in 2007. So Obama's kept it going, but this was not something that he started. What Obama did is start stimulus, race to the top. Now telling schools and states that if they wanted federal funding, they actually had to make sure that their students all got to this top, which is whatever the new standard was. Kids couldn't do that. It was a lot of pressure on parents, it was a lot of pressure on schools and teachers, so everybody started teaching to a test. Now we have students that aren't learning, but they're learning how to desperately catch up to do a test. So 2010, June 2010, the standards were released. The Common Core were released. And this timeline goes really quickly from when they were actually first released to their second adoption to when states started adopting them. It's really interesting that there's only a few months between when the standards actually came out and a majority of states decided that they were going to adopt them. A lot of that has to do with getting funding. So first we have states that had all these low standards, and now we're suddenly telling students that they need to work up to this level. Well, what happened to that gap in the middle? That's where we're at right now. So, what does this mean for your child? What this means is, even though the standards started, or California started transitioning to the standards years ago, nobody knew about it because there was a lot of testing and a lot of shifting into implementation, which means there's full implementation for this year. This is the first year coming up in 2014, this fall, that there will be full standards in all grades. So teachers are now working very hard to learn the new curriculums to get these in place so that they can be fully effective with implementation. This is a map kind of outlining what's happening between English language arts standards based on the states and what the Common Core is now adding and asking people to do. So the states that are in the lightest green were decided they have standards already clearly superior to Common Core. There's only 3 of them. California happens to be one. Most of the states are this light green, and theirs are basically the same as Common Core, and then the rest of the country had standards that were inferior. Well, if most of the country has standards that were found inferior to the ones that they want to implement, sounds like a pretty good idea to up the standards for everybody. Interesting enough, what happens though is when you have states with low or high standards, it has almost no effect on how kids do on testing. So, states with higher standards, states with lower standards, oh, we went backwards. It doesn't necessarily mean kids are going to do less well or more well with it. What is going to happen is testing is going to change. All the things you see in yellow are the new testing. You'll notice California is in yellow. This is called the SBAC, whereas before you might have been doing California state tests or for each grade level, we are now going to a consistent national test. And it doesn't mean that every state has to do the same test. You'll see that there's different colors on here because different states are adapting different tests. But these are tests that are nationally normed to the Common Core. So when your student sat down in the spring and that you got the note home that said, guess what, we're having testing this week, they're going to do math testing on Monday and Tuesday, and English testing on Wednesday and Thursday, that's not happening anymore. All of our testing is going to be online. The entire way that we're testing is changing to match up with Common Core. So even states that decided not to adopt Common Core, which you can see in red here, Texas, and a few others, they're still going to have to do something with Common Core because textbooks are now only being written for Common Core. There's no reason for textbook writers to do anything that isn't Common Core, since 80% of their business is now going to be. Even for people who have children who are younger, by 2016, the SATs will be aligned to Common Core. They're doing huge overhauls, and if you want to know more about that, please contact me directly, and I can help explain that. But this is important for people with younger kids as well, because that means when your kids are ready to take the SATs, they're going to be taking a test that's aligned to Common Core. And what we know from research is that kids who start to fall behind as early as 4th grade do not catch up. In fact, we have predictors better than 95% accuracy that if students are not doing well in 4th grade, they do not do well in high school without intervention. So if you have students and you're starting to see lower grades in 4th and 5th grade, do not let that slide. You cannot let that slide, or you are basically setting your child's future up to be unsuccessful in later years. So, computer-based samples. What is this test going to look like? And you're going to notice that it's going to be very different looking than other things that you've seen so far.
So I think it's really good that Erin pointed out that for this test, it's going to be implemented this year. It's going to be implemented this fall, starting this fall. The first round of testing is going to be done in the spring of 2015. So this summer is going to be really critical about how we prepare our students to do and how we prepare our students for this test. Now the test is going to be a computer-based test. most of the tests that they had before was paper tests. What they had to do is read the problems, fill in the bubbles, and that's what they did. They just had to fill in the bubbles to do multiple choice tests. This was a standard way of testing for all schools, actually. With the all school standard testing, it was mostly pushing, if you knew the material, you filled in a bubble, and that's all you need to do. What we're focusing on right now, what the Common Core focuses on now, is less of what the answer is, but more about what the process is. How do you get the answer? And they test this based on a computer-based testing. As you can see in this example right here, this is a simple multiplication problem, actually. It asks, each page of the picture album has 3 rows and 4 pictures fit in each catch row. How many pictures fit on each catch page? Basic multiplication problem. Now, students in the 3rd grade should know how to do this problem already, knowing 3 times 4 equals 12. However, what they're asking for more than this now is, how do you get to your answer? They're asking a word problem so that students have to solve it through and actually know what they're talking about to get the answer. This is more the traditional base which they do have, which they just select one multiple choice questions. But as you can see in the next question, and this computer-based test is going to be based where they have to take all the tests on the computer. Now, with the rise of technology, it allows students to take the test differently, but also it's a little confusing sometimes. When students get presented with a question like this, or let's say before they had a question that was just basically multiple choice, now they get to the next question and it says, drag each fraction. This means that the student has to know that these are the options that they have, and what they have to do now is select one of these answers and drag it on the timeline. Where to drag it on the timeline? They have to know that they have to put it somewhere on the timeline here, not just drag it around. So this testing format is actually very different from just filling in bubbles at this point. Knowing how to navigate this computer-based system is going to be a challenge in itself, you know. So here's another example. Here's the reading, this is the English language test right here. And you'll see right here, they have the English language test with the reading, traditional as usual. They also have multiple choice also. That's usually how they test as well. Except for this part right here, they're going to be testing on what the process is, how they got the answer. Right here, the question asks, what inferences can be made about Tim's relationship with Sam? What inferences can be made about Tim's relationship with Sam? Now, a 3rd grader has to know what that means. Does that mean what the relationship is with Sam? And then they have to put an answer. They'll have to search through the text. And what this section is looking for is they're looking for keywords to show that the students do understand this concept here. So they're not just going to have to know what the reading is about, but also how to put the questions in there. Another thing that they'll have to know, what is a very logical thing? They'll have to know how to type. And 3rd grade, knowing how to type is going to be very important, and how to use a computer is going to be more and more important. Right here we have another example, how to navigate through. It says choose 2 sentences. It's not multiple choice anymore. They have to choose 2. Same with this one right here. It's going to be pick 2 reasons. They have to pick 1, 2, and then also do the listening exercise. So how this affects your student is going to be a lot of different ways. It's not just the new Common Core standards. It's not just about the new set of questions that they need to know, but also how to navigate the test. They have to understand the new Common Core standards, how to navigate the computerized test, and then be familiar with the testing also. Go ahead.
So what happens when on the new Common Core is there's much more emphasis on the conceptual versus an evaluation versus just being able to get the answer. They also must be able to explain and support their work. This is in both English language arts and math. You need to be able to support and clearly know how to do questions in multiple ways. And finally, we need to know that parents have not learned in this way. This is going to look very different.
And that's the new thing, we have a new test format. With a new test format, even teachers and parents, this is a very new way of testing. So even some of the teachers are trying to catch up. They've been teaching for years and years, 10, 20 years, some of these teachers. And now this whole new format with a computer-based system is going to challenge how teachers will teach with the whole curriculum. And the teachers right here they don't feel confident about the whole new test a lot of times. And there's a survey going around that said 58% of the teachers didn't even feel confident about this new system.
And 1 in 5 didn't think that parents had been adequately informed. So if teachers are feeling like parents haven't been adequately informed, and they aren't feeling adequately informed, how do we expect our students to be able to navigate this new system?
So with the new students, parents, students, and teachers, what we're trying to do is help the students through the summer program and through our program right here at Growing Tree Education. With the program that we have, it's very different from the different programs because what we focus on is on small groups. And with these small groups, your students are already in their classroom with 30, 40 students sometimes in some classrooms. And then they come home and they say, Mom, how do I do this problem? And mom doesn't know because it's a whole nother format of testing and different questions and asking students to reason different ways. And so parents get frustrated also. And so with this frustration that goes parents, teachers, and students, how do we adequately help our students prepare for the tests?
Where do we come in so that parents aren't feeling helpless at home and students aren't feeling hopeless at school? And that's where Growing Tree comes in. We want to give students a learning opportunity in an individualized setting so that they can develop their own skills and be successful on these new ways of learning. So we have designed a summer program that is based on Common Core, but also based in the way that students learn best. And we know from research that students learn best in small groups, in collaboration, where they are given very detailed, well executed and designed tasks, and in ways that also helps nurture their own individualization.
So if you take a look at the back right here, if you go through the whole format right there, and this will end our presentation here, so thank you. And we'll show you right here. This is the, so do you feel like you kind of know what the Common Core is now?
Well, yeah, but I'm getting worried. You know me,
So
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think is not only you are worried, but
Yeah.
a lot of different parents.
Because
are
I
worried.
told you already,
Yeah.
I'm from El Salvador, my husband is from Argentina.
Mhm.
I don't know how many years ago I did second grade, but I remember, I told you yesterday. For example, for multiplication, first I remember I learned the timetables first, and then multiplications. And I asked you this
Mhm.
yesterday, because that made me get really frustrated. I helped Camila, I've been helping Camila a lot, but I'm not that patient, the ways are different. I don't have the right tips. I think I've been doing okay, but that's why, we look for you. We had a tutor before, but I told you what happened,
Yeah.
because I can see that Camila she's very smart, but she's having a little issues, especially with math. When I got the card report for the second semester, she was complaining about reading, that she was doing fast, rushing. She was rushing. She was smart, she can read, but she was rushing.
And that's what we're even more concerned with is now the
Yeah.
computerized tests. Students are already rushing through a paper test. With the computerized test, there's so many different set of instructions for different type of questions. As you see, they had the drag this thing, and then they have
Yeah.
select two, and then select one, and type here. So there's a lot of different things that they're not able to get
So,
figured out.
you guys saying, not even the teachers know how to deal with this kind
They're getting new
of
curriculum.
frustrated, right? So, how we can help our children?
So that's what our program is going to be set up for.
Yeah,
Is-
you guys can help, like
So-
tutoring.
The thing
Yeah.
is with
And they get used to,
Yeah.
those kind of tests, so when they have the test, they're gonna be comfortable.
yeah.
What
So-
I can see is, sorry, you said before it was kind of confused, that kind of test that they were taking by papers,
Yeah.
they were kind of confused how they ask.
No,
know,
that
to
was
solve the problem.
That's the computerized test.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
That's the computerized test.
Okay.
That's a new test that they're going to be faced with.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I see. What do you think will happen to Camila in the next couple of years?
Well,
If she
that's why we're helping
Yeah.
Camila, and I'm planning, we always had this in mind. First, Camila was going to private school, but they were complaining too much about that. I told you that she was talking too much. They made me crazy. And I live very close to college, and they all told me, this is a good school, this is a public school, why you gonna try it? Because they made me crazy. Sometimes, yeah, it's true. Sometimes in public school, they have a little more patience than private school. Private schools are very strict, and very disciplined. She's not unrespectful or something like that, but she talks. If they don't like children, they talk.
The problem with that is it's developmentally appropriate.
But
to talk.
but I wanna help,
So-
you know, my husband and I wanna help Camila. We knew that if she needs a tutoring, I mean, we can get a tutor. You know, because she's supposed to go private school, and we believe a lot in private school, because,
But I
but
think-
now, I don't know, I'm not sure about that, because I told you, San Felicitas has 35 for second grade, and
That's
it's
the,
not.
that's the thing, a lot of children, what we see is that this test is a very individual test. It's one, and this is another problem that they're trying to solve. You have to have a computer for every single child, you know? And so with a class full of 30, how do you train every single child to know how to use this program? Because they're going to be learning, they have to be taught how to drag these things, click on 2 for this one, only click on 1 for this one.
Yeah.
And then they have to teach every single child. With this program, the summer program that we're putting together, we have the chance. We have the chance to give every student, this is the computer you're going to work with today, and to go through the whole format.
But even more than the test, give them the opportunity to start feeling some success in this, so that when they get to a classroom and there's 30 kids, they don't have to be one of the ones that are saying, I don't get it.
Yeah,
Because if we can start them now, and she's going into 3rd grade, so she's gonna be
Yeah.
she's gonna be the first group of 3rd graders to be tested this
You know,
way.
the Common Core doesn't go second graders. They
No?
start at the 3rd grade.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
Camila just.
So they do the
There's standards-
test,
there's
they do
standards
the
in
testing
K1
every
too.
month or every,
It's,
trip?
the big one is at the end of the year, so.
The big one, but they have like the first semester, the second,
They
and the
have
last
testing-
one, right?
No.
Or no?
What they have is the standards, and actually by themselves, the standards are they're pretty good. They're pretty good, like what they say that kids need to do. The problem comes in when the districts and the schools are teaching how to do it. So they're picking a lot of things that are not making sense to teachers, so teachers are having a really hard time
Teaching their children.
communicating that. Plus, they're being told you have to get through all of these things in the year.
So they're gonna struggle.
They have a script. They're going to follow their script.
Yeah.
What do we
So-
do with the students that aren't keeping up with the script? Some of them are gonna do fine.
So the
Some
script
kids are
says,
gonna do
today
fine.
you do this, tomorrow you do this, the next day you
And
do
we
this.
can essentially say everyone across the country is going to be doing the same thing, almost the same thing on the same day, at least within the same 2 weeks. Every kid will be doing the same thing. Is it good or bad?
So the
We can make
teachers
up our
feel
own minds,
pressure.
but it's happening.
The
Yeah.
teachers feel pressure, we have to follow the script, which is, okay, we gotta keep going, we gotta keep moving.
Yeah.
But then, what if the student doesn't understand what the problem is? And then, but the next day, we have to keep learning a totally new concept. And those children, that's why, they're implementing it this year, and they're actually expecting about 30+% to fail. They want that failure rate actually, because they're saying, well, this is just what it's gonna be. We're gonna see all these kids fail, and that's it. But we don't want our students to fail, that's the thing. So that's why we're saying.
They basically want it to be a shake-up, wake-up call for the country. Like, look, when we go onto national standards, our kids don't do as well. So that's supposed to make everybody panic.
And
but-
they're trying to keep the children the same level, right? That's the purpose. Yeah.
For the whole nation.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the whole
for the,
country.
yeah, because I heard Camila had a friend last year and they moved, they from Chicago, I don't know, I can't remember. And her mom sent an email to the whole class that it's completely different.
Mhm.
It's higher, the education there, higher than here. So here we're here and they're there.
See, and that's what's
Big
ironic
difference.
about when we say that California has higher standards than the Common Core, it's not working. It doesn't matter that ours are written more and more challenging, it's not working. We have more kids fail in this state than most other states.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
So just because you have high
Well,
standards, doesn't mean that students can reach
For
those
me and my
standards.
husband, especially we only have one, and we're going to have two at the same time. That's why we work so hard, I mean, you know, for so many years and we're still. So we wanna help Camila. She needs, like, that's why I asked you.
And she's doing better,
Yeah.
I think.
I can see that, I talked to the teacher
Yeah.
today,
Mhm.
and she sent me she started sending me, because I don't know why she didn't send before the test, and she's doing okay, she told me. And she's improving, and all ways, she's
Yeah.
focusing more, she's, you know,
That's
yeah,
where we
so
see the
that's what I
slowness
wanna
too,
do,
right?
I mean, it's, you know, even we're not paying right now, I used to pay a lot of money for private schools, she was 2.5 years old.
Mhm.
So, you know, I wanna help, because even me,
Yeah,
from different country, my husband worse than me.
yeah.
I try to read the books, Camila's homework and
Yeah.
everything, and I figure that out myself.
Yeah.
But I'll do it because I wanna help Camila. So for me, it's very important that she's successful. I don't wanna get stuck, like you said. When she go to 7th, 6th grade, and you know, she's gonna
It's
be
one of the
behind.
things
I
I
don't
push
want
so much
Camila
is-
behind.
If you start seeing something now, do something now,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
it doesn't fix itself.
And I
Yeah, I
think
know.
we need your help also to tell other parents about this.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, I
a
will.
lot of parents are like, oh, it's okay, they'll do okay. or
Yeah, I
whatever,
know.
And I,
Oh, we'll just wait till next year,
it
you know, when the
doesn't
test
fix
comes.
itself, I promise
I
you,
know.
if you don't do something now.
Well, I don't believe in that, and nothing, you know, is gonna fix by themselves.
And that puts you
Yeah.
on a different level than a lot of parents. They go, oh,
Yeah,
well,
oh,
you know,
no.
it's only 3rd grade, it
No,
doesn't
no.
really matter, we'll just wait and see.
I'm not like that. I
If
mean,
you
when I
do
talk to
that-
the teachers or the you know, the doctors that Camila had, I don't know, because Camila was born with a huge problem, made me crazy. I'm a crazy mom. I'm too worried.
I think all moms think they're crazy. but
Yeah,
they're like all
yeah.
other moms.
You know, sometimes I feel like even this teacher's not helping me.
Mhm.
She's very,
Just
It's-
feeders.
yeah.
It's very
She has a lot of
frustrating
attitude.
and
It's very frustrating for me because I try to help her. It's easier if we help each other. You know, she can do better at school. You know, it's a teamwork.
Yeah.
Teachers with parents.
that's what it says,
And-
building a team.
Yeah,
To build a team.
and they keep saying at school, oh, parents have to involve. Parents have to be involved.
It's the
Parents have
teachers
to
that
be
are
involved. Yeah, parents, and when you involve, it's like, oh, you bothering me too much.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with Mrs. Peters. That
Well,
I
One thing one part of the process that I've developed in my practice, because I do educational therapy, so I work a lot with schools, psychologists, neuropsychologists, is being somebody who can help parents talk to teachers and actually talk to them directly.
Yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
a powerful service, because if you start to feel helpless because you don't feel like you're getting the help you need from the teacher, the communication,
I know.
I think it feels very vulnerable. You're like, but this is my child, and
Yeah.
you're not letting me help.
My husband, you know, George had when we start with you,
Yeah.
the spring
He was
break,
very worried, huh?
he was very worried.
Yeah.
And he got 3 weeks of vacation. But most of the time I'm in school. I take Camila and I pick him up and I'm involved. I do volunteer. Man, I work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not free. You know, but I'll do it for my daughter. You know, they all get excited when you do volunteer in school. They feel very, you know, proud and the self-esteem goes up and, you know, but she's not helping me. And I got frustrated when I got the report card. And I talked to her and she was talking to me and I said, listen, it's okay. If Camila has something wrong, why you didn't tell me? I've been asking you. I've been offering my help. I've been constantly saying, Mrs. Peter, I've been doing homework at home, and I can see Camila needs more help. I mean, she's smart, but you have to explain sometimes 1 or 2 times or 3 times, and she get it and she do it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she's fine. She's okay. She's fine.
But her
She's okay,
report card
but
doesn't say
go.
so.
Yeah. And I said, well, how is that you guys talking a lot? The parents have to be involved. If parents are not involved, they're complaining.
And
Yeah.
when you are
What the
involved,
hell do
They
you want?
complain.
Yeah, and so my husband, after the spring break, he was taking Camila to school and he was talking with a lot of parents. And finally, he called the district. I feel bad because I'm not the kind of person. I like to, but you know, at the end of the day, I talked to my husband and I was getting a little mad And they say, you're not in school every day, I'm in school, she's gonna get mad at Camila, she's gonna be, sometimes teacher that. And he said, no, I don't care. Maybe we're helping other parents. Because, and you know what, we've been talking with different parents in school, and they had the same problem. They say, oh, that teacher I know, she doesn't help. If
And
we're
that's
gonna
the
have,
thing. If you have a bad teacher, how is it that you can ensure
Yeah.
that your student can your child can still continue to learn what they need to learn, so that they can understand the things that they need to learn
Yeah.
for the next grade also, and then for college and for SATs and things like that. So if you have a bad teacher, how do you ensure that they keep on learning
yeah.
despite the system?
And one time I explained to her, a long time ago, that we were doing homework, the timing. It's hard. Yeah, it's kind of tricky and hard. And I was teaching Camila.
She
I got-
can watch.
Yeah, and I got frustrated. I said, Camila, I told you for 20 or 30 minutes, I'm tired. And she started crying. And then, come on, we feel bad. After I do something, I said, oh my God, I shouldn't do this. Then I say, you know what, I'm sorry. I got frustrated. I don't know how to explain you. And the next day, I talked to her. And she was having the other tutor. And I asked the teacher, how's Camila doing? Oh, she's doing fine. She's doing fine. She's okay. She understands all the concept about math. And I, Mrs. Peter, wait a minute. And I explained what happened. Oh, yeah, she told me about that, but okay, I'll try to explain to her today. She never did.
Yeah.
She never did.
That's why small
So then
groups
what?
help.
Then where does she?
She never
learn
did.
that skill?
Then, later on, we had those kind of problems in the homework. Same thing. She didn't explain anything to me. Yeah, and she lied to me. Because I say, what I didn't like it's that I was asking because I need help. The tutor disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her
we had
tutor
another tutor
disappeared.
coming into our house. She just
stopped
disappeared.
coming. And then they tried calling, and then she didn't answer.
She came for, and then she started calling. Oh, you know what?
Was she a private tutor, or did you get her through?
Private tutor.
It was a private.
That you found from a recommendation, or how did you find it?
Yeah. And she was coming at home, and we only had one. It was okay for her. She had 3 children, so she said, no, in my house, I don't do that because I have 2 children. It's okay. Then she started like, okay, if we have the appointment at 6, she called me about 4:15, 4:30. Can I come at 5? And I said, we're not home.
Yeah.
For me, it's okay, but we're not home. Then she started canceling, the dates. Then she disappeared. Then she told me that she has another tutor that she's gonna send me. Oh my God, it was horrible. And finally, I said, oh my
Actually,
God.
we find a lot of tutors like that in our field, in our industry as well. And that's what I really like. That's how
I told you that she wanna come back 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you told me.
No.
Well, that's what we found.
Forget it.
Other
I'm
tutors are
serious.
like that.
I'm nice, but I'm serious. And I say, no, I really fine. Remember when
Yeah,
you
told
were
me
walking
that.
with Sophia, and I had my glasses, because sometimes when I have my glasses, I don't see. And I saw him, and I saw the sign in the car, and I said, oh my God, I lost.
Yeah.
I was with a grandma. I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna go and talk to him,
I
because
thought
I'm
it was
very,
just this crazy mom, like.
yeah, I'm crossing the street.
Running across the street.
Crossing the street, I say, oh my God, what she wants. No, I'm, we worry, we wanna help Camila. I don't,
And you know what? We find a lot of parents are exactly like you. You're not the odd
I'm
one
not.
actually. There's so many parents that are like that, but not a lot of
Jen
parents.
is one of those. Yeah,
not a lot of
she's-
parents know where to get that resource.
Mhm.
And even when they do find a tutor, that tutor could be great, or it could be great for 1 month or 2 months, and then after that drop off. And what we
Yeah.
find in our industry is that a lot of tutors don't have the resources and don't have the experience and don't know what's going on. And that's why we're connecting. What we want to do is we really want to train tutors, just everybody, about what to do better. Because we find that we have a lot of years experience with tutoring. I've been tutoring for 6 years now. She's been tutoring for over 10 years, right?
Wow.
And so, knowing that experience and how to help our whole industry. Because when we help other tutors and help other students and other teachers.
I'll send you the tutoring that Camila had. Maybe she's.
Yeah.
No, you have to
Really,
be serious.
really,
I
yeah.
mean, that's, you know, you can
We
cancel.
would love to give her the resources. to
Yeah,
do this.
because she's
Yeah.
really bad.
When you don't treat other people's time and children as a priority and you
Yeah.
say you're going to, then I don't think they understand how much it actually hurts the child. More than just not showing up for that day.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Because I remember the last time, we had something to do, and we canceled. Camila had a play day, and they say, no, she has tutoring, and I'm very serious, I told you. Even we have Disneyland passes for so many years. This year, we don't have it. We're gonna take a break.
Take a break from this.
Yeah, take a break. But I never take Camila out of school to go to movies, to have a play day. No. Go to school is serious. Mommy and dad work so hard. I'm not gonna waste
I
any
think
money,
it's really
any time.
great.
No.
Your attitude is really great. But
Yeah.
a lot of parents are like that. You know?
Yeah, I know.
So, I think it's great that you're out there to help other parents see that as well, and to see how they can help their children. Because as I told you before, the school district's grade really affects your real estate as well.
Oh, yeah, you
So
told me that.
if the whole school district is doing better, and
Mhm.
you're helping other parents, do better as well, everyone's house prices are going to go up. They say like when people are buying a house, 90% of people are looking at the school district. Does it have a good school district? That's
Yeah.
one of the first questions they ask. And so that's what we're trying to do in the community also. She lives here, I live here, and what we're
You
trying
live
to
in
do.
San Gabriel too?
Alhambra.
Oh, Alhambra, yeah, I used to live in Alhambra.
So
Yeah.
that's what we really want to do. It's not just public schools. It's not just our private school. It's the whole community coming together.
Yeah.
So that's great. I think we're in a very good position to tell other parents also.
Yeah.
So
I'll talk to because, I'm maybe I'm crazy.
no, you're not actually. You should see the other parents sometimes.
Yeah, but I
would
would
rather have
understand.
somebody say, I'm going to do something
She's
now.
gonna be fine, they said, yeah, because I talked to one of the moms at school, and she said, it's okay. I'm waiting for the summer, they can have fun, and I go, oh, really? Yeah, Camila can have fun, I told you what kind of mom I am. I mean, she has fun,
There's some,
but
there's
not like,
some
put it
value
away.
to fun, but what happens is kids lose months and months and months of learning, and there's so much research. There are organizations dedicated to saying, please just have your kids do
Something.
Some sort of
something.
work.
Have them do their math and reading in the summer, they have to, or there's no other industry that says, you know what, like,
They learn
let's
easy,
just-
but they forget
Let's
easy.
just take a couple
Yeah.
months off from
Yeah.
everything and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if you're like a marathon runner, an athlete, you don't just take
Take
months
3
and months
months
off
off.
without having it really hurt your body. I mean,
Yeah,
athletes come back from
Yeah.
in between
That's
seasons, they have a lot of work to do. And we suddenly expect our kids to come back in the fall exactly where they left off, knowing just as much as they did and ready to go.
no, they don't. They forget easy. They're smart. They learn easy. That's what I learned from my doctor,
And actually, when you're going on vacation for a month, right?
3
3
weeks,
What I
yeah.
want to do is give you
Yeah,
course
yeah,
that
yeah,
she
of
can
course.
work during
Mhm.
that time,
Yeah.
so she can keep sharp.
Yeah.
And keep remembering all the things. she knows. Yeah, that would be good.
I'm trying not to,
Yeah.
but my mom is very sick.
Yeah.
I'm not happy going.
Well, it's
It's
good.
Salvador,
I think,
but,
well,
yeah.
I think for you, like, it gives you
Yeah.
an experience also.
If it's,
so it's good.
Are you going
A
to
break.
Argentina?
No, I'm going to Salvador. Because
Oh,
my
okay.
mom it's been very sick since Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
visit her. I think it's a
yeah.
good chance for Camila to get out of the country also.
Yeah.
I've always believed in
She's excited.
international.
Yeah, but I need the homework, and that's why I need Camila in summer school.
Yeah.
Keep
Prepare for
learning,
that.
not only having fun.
Yeah.
She needs to learn. She needs to keep because she needs help.
Mhm.
And I don't believe in stop for, like you said, for almost 3 months of vacation and then come back and they forget everything. No, it's not. It's
Who
not me.
wouldn't?
I'm so excited with
It's
this.
a
I
funny
mean,
system.
Yeah.
even when I found Gary, I got so excited because I told my husband, "Oh my God, I saw this guy. He was so nice." He picked it up Sophia, and my husband was saying, "Who you met him?" And I said,
In the
"Well,
street."
he had in the street." But he has Sophia. If he has Sophia, I can trust him. So, yeah, okay. My husband always.
Yeah. And
Trust
then I
me.
remember your husband came in. Who's this guy?
But my
That's
husband,
good.
trust
It's
me
very
because
good.
he knows. Yeah, he knows that I do the best.
Yeah.
The best I can do
Your
for
husband's
community.
You
very
made a
good.
wise
Very
choice.
supportive.
Yeah, that's true. So
Good.
I'm happy
So
with
we'll
this.
give you more of these so you can take a
Yeah,
look at
pass.
these so we
Yeah,
can.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for
We
study, huh?
have a couple, yeah. we can
If
give-
we can receive.
Yeah.
Let me print out some more notes.
That was a nice information.
Oh, good. I
Yeah.
hope it helps,
Yeah.
and I hope you
Yeah,
know.
we'll get that out
you know
to
a
the
little
people, and
more.
if you know anybody,
Yeah,
You can get
I don't have my phone right now.
emails
Yeah,
or
and the
email him
emails,
and
yeah,
say, hey,
yeah. But I'm gonna do that.
We'll
You're
get the
gonna
presentation.
send this to
Yeah.
my email,
We'll
right?
send the whole presentation to the email, and then
Yeah,
you could send
And
it
I can send it
That's
to
perfect.
my
your friends
friends
or
at
whoever,
school
yeah.
and whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Okay, you have our email, right?
I have your email.
America, it's easy. It's the most easiest. Yeah, my husband checked it, I checked it because it's all Camila's friend and school and everything, so.
Let me print you several copies of the
Okay.
summer school files. I'll give you 5 for now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. So you teaching in your house or so you have a place?
No, I
or-
do online and I'm gonna start here, actually.
Oh, you're gonna sit here? No, that's nice.
But I'm doing in-home visits and online.
Are you house or you go to?
I go to
She
house.
gets to go to the Beverly Hill mansions.
Oh, yeah, you told me, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but I have to
good.
drive to Beverly
Oh,
Hills.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
that's
like,
right away.
I was like, please, let's work on this
I
side of
know.
town. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, she was coming, the other tutor, she was coming to my house. And Camila liked it, and she get very attached to people. And,
That's what's hard
yeah,
too, and then
yeah,
suddenly you have
they're
a flaky
children.
adult.
Yeah, they're
It
children.
doesn't work.
Yeah, I know, and she was so excited, and she was doing okay. She started doing okay, but she disappeared. Yeah. You know, I called all the other tutors, but they were saying, okay, I'll call you in 2 weeks. I call you in a month. I call, yeah. So when I saw Gary, I said, oh, that was my lucky day.
I'm really glad that I have a chance.
Yeah, and my husband asked me, I said, don't worry about it. We'll try it. You know, if we don't like it,
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, we just stop and look for another one. But no, really, be honest, you're good. Because, you know, I
Thank you.
talked to the teacher and she's happy. She said she's improving, she's getting 100s,
Yeah.
math and everything, so she's doing fine.
That's about as good as you can get.
Yeah,
Let me give you copies on Monday.
okay, no problem. We have a copy machine like
Okay,
you,
okay,
so
great.
we can do that. But send me that, you know.
You wanna do a couple of these? These ones?
I have, yeah, oh, they have some there, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
good.
okay.
And then, are you going to see Jake's mom as well?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Give me
This
one.
is, wait, let me see which one is Jake.
I
Jake is
saw
in
her. I saw
second
his
grade
dad
also.
today, but I
This
know
is
she's
from
busy
Jake.
with the little boy.
You don't
the
see,
middle.
you don't see Sophie's mom, right?
Not
as
really.
much. Okay,
No,
so I'll hold on that for.
because I think. No, I don't see
Yeah.
her.
Okay,
Once in a
I
while.
don't know if you know anybody.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Well, we're really excited for this summer, you know.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
wanna- We wanna make